was the most secret program ever conducted by the CIA in the United States. Patients at psychiatric hospitals, prisoners in federal institutions, and even people in the public were given drugs without their awareness or consent and experimented upon.
What if the most terrifying science fiction stories weren't fiction at all? What if the real monsters were hidden behind government seals, buried in redacted files, and locked away in vaults marked top secret? Tonight, we peel back the layers of deception to reveal the darkest, most chilling secrets ever declassified by the CIA. These aren't just stories. They're documented operations, experiments, and conspiracies that sound too twisted to be true. But they are.
The CIA was scared stiff the KGB was going to get all this LSD and come over and start dosing people. So we bought every drop of LSD in existence at that point.
Operation Midnight Climax, the CIA's LSD brothels. In the heart of San Francisco and New York during the 1950s and 60s, the CIA operated a series of safe houses under the innocuous-sounding Operation Midnight Climax. But behind these doors, a sinister experiment unfolded. Sex workers on the CIA's payroll lured unsuspecting men into these locations, where they were secretly dosed with LSD. Behind one-way mirrors, CIA operatives observed and recorded their reactions, aiming to study the effects of the drug and explore mind control techniques. The goal? To determine if individuals could be manipulated into revealing secrets or even committing acts against their will. These experiments violated ethical standards and the rights of countless individuals, many of whom never knew they were part of a clandestine operation. But what happened next shocked everyone. Project MK Ultra, the quest for mind control. Project MK Ultra was the CIA's most infamous mind control program, initiated in the early 1950s. Under the direction of chemist Sidney Gottlieb, the agency conducted a series of experiments involving LSD, hypnosis, sensory deprivation, and other methods on unwitting subjects. Victims included prisoners, mental patients, and even CIA employees. One tragic case involved Dr. Frank Olson, a government scientist who was unknowingly dosed with LSD and later died under mysterious circumstances. The official story claimed suicide, but many believe he was silenced to prevent the truth from emerging. The program's unethical practices eventually came to light in the 1970s, leading to public outrage and congressional hearings. Yet many details remain shrouded in secrecy, leaving us to wonder, how deep did the rabbit hole go? Project Artichoke. Can you create an assassin? Before MK Ultra, there was Project Artichoke. Launched in 1951, this CIA initiative aimed to determine whether individuals could be compelled to commit assassinations against their will. Using hypnosis, forced addiction, and psychological manipulation, the agency explored the boundaries of human control. One chilling question posed in a declassified memo: can we get control of an individual to the point where he will do our bidding against his will and even against fundamental laws of nature, such as self-preservation? The implications are terrifying. If successful, this program could have created real-life Manchurian candidates, individuals programmed to kill without memory or remorse. Project Stargate, psychic spies, and remote viewing. In the 1970s, the CIA ventured into the paranormal with Project Stargate, a program exploring the potential of psychic phenomena for intelligence gathering. The focus was on remote viewing, the ability to perceive distant or unseen targets through extrasensory perception. Notably, Israeli psychic Uri Geller participated in experiments, claiming to replicate drawings and access hidden information using his mind. While the program yielded mixed results, some reports suggested that remote viewers accurately described secret Soviet facilities and other targets. Though officially terminated in the 1990s, Project Stargate remains a testament to the CIA's willingness to explore the unknown in pursuit of an intelligence edge. Alien encounter, Soviet soldiers turned to stone. A declassified CIA document recounts a bizarre incident from the 1980s. Soviet soldiers allegedly shot down a low-flying UFO, only to be confronted by 5 humanoid beings. These entities merged into a single, glowing sphere, emitting a blinding light that turned 23 soldiers into stone. 2 survivors claimed the beings, and the sphere vanished after the attack. The petrified remains were reportedly transported to a secret facility in Moscow for analysis. While the story sounds like science fiction, its presence in CIA archives raises unsettling questions about encounters beyond our understanding. Operation Northwoods, a plan to deceive the nation. In the early 1960s, the Joint Chiefs of Staff proposed Operation Northwoods, a series of false flag operations designed to justify military intervention in Cuba. Plans included staging terrorist attacks on U.S. soil, hijacking planes, and sinking boats carrying Cuban refugees. The idea was to blame these events on the Cuban government, rallying public support for war. President Kennedy ultimately rejected the plan, but the fact that such proposals were seriously considered is deeply disturbing. It begs the question, how far would our government go to manipulate public perception? The Adam and Eve story, cataclysm, and cover-up. Among the CIA's declassified files lies The Adam and Eve Story by Chan Thomas, a book detailing a theory of cyclical cataclysms that periodically reset civilization. Thomas posited that sudden pole shifts could cause massive earthquakes, floods, and other disasters, wiping out advanced societies. While mainstream science disputes these claims, the CIA's interest in the manuscript has fueled speculation. Why would the agency classify such a document? Was it mere curiosity, or did they uncover evidence supporting Thomas's theories? CIA's secret prisons, the black sites. In the aftermath of September 11th, the CIA established a network of secret prisons, known as black sites, across the globe. Detainees were held without trial, subjected to enhanced interrogation techniques, and denied basic human rights. Locations ranged from Eastern Europe to the Middle East, hidden from public scrutiny. Reports of torture, including waterboarding and sleep deprivation, sparked international outrage. These operations, shrouded in secrecy, highlight the lengths to which the agency would go in the name of national security, raising ethical and legal concerns that persist to this day. CIA assassination plots, the dark art of elimination. Throughout its history, the CIA has been linked to numerous assassination plots targeting foreign leaders. From Fidel Castro to Patrice Lumumba, the agency employed various methods, including poisoned cigars, exploding seashells, and staged accidents. While some plots failed or were aborted, others succeeded, altering the course of nations. These covert actions, often conducted without congressional approval, underscore the agency's willingness to operate in the shadows, wielding lethal force to achieve geopolitical objectives. Operation Midnight Climax, the CIA's LSD brothels. In the heart of San Francisco and New York during the 1950s and 60s, the CIA operated a series of safe houses under the innocuous-sounding Operation Midnight Climax. But behind these doors, a sinister experiment unfolded. Sex workers on the CIA's payroll lured unsuspecting men into these locations, where they were secretly dosed with LSD. Behind one-way mirrors, CIA operatives observed and recorded their reactions, aiming to study the effects of the drug and explore mind control techniques. The goal? To determine if individuals could be manipulated into revealing secrets or even committing acts against their will. These experiments violated ethical standards and the rights of countless individuals, many of whom never knew they were part of a clandestine operation. But what happened next shocked everyone. The invisible third party, manipulating the masses. Beyond the known operations, there are whispers of deeper manipulations. From influencing media narratives to orchestrating coups, the CIA's reach extended into the very fabric of societies. Declassified documents hint at programs designed to sway public opinion, infiltrate organizations, and control the flow of information. These revelations challenge our understanding of free will and democracy. If the narratives we consume are curated, how can we discern truth from manipulation? Operation Acoustic Kitty, the CIA's feline spy experiment. In the 1960s, the CIA embarked on an audacious project, turning a common house cat into a stealthy surveillance device. Dubbed Operation Acoustic Kitty, the plan involved surgically implanting a microphone, transmitter, and battery into a cat, aiming to eavesdrop on Soviet conversations in public spaces. The first mission ended abruptly when the cat was released near a Soviet compound, but was promptly struck and killed by a taxi. Despite the project's failure, it highlighted the agency's willingness to explore unorthodox methods in espionage. Operation CHAOS, Domestic Surveillance Unveiled. Between 1967 and 1974, the CIA conducted Operation Chaos, a covert program aimed at monitoring and infiltrating domestic anti-war and civil rights groups. Originally intended to detect foreign influence, the operation expanded to surveil American citizens, collecting extensive files on activists and organizations. The program's existence came to light during the Church Committee hearings in the 1970s, revealing the extent of domestic surveillance and raising serious concerns about civil liberties and governmental overreach. Operation Mockingbird, media manipulation exposed. Operation Mockingbird was an alleged CIA initiative to influence media both domestically and internationally. Beginning in the early Cold War years, the agency purportedly recruited journalists and funded media outlets to disseminate propaganda and shape public opinion. While the full scope remains debated, declassified documents and testimonies suggest a concerted effort to control narratives, raising questions about media independence and the ethical boundaries of intelligence operations. Operation Gladio, the secret stay-behind armies. Operation Gladio was a clandestine NATO project during the Cold War, establishing stay-behind armies across Europe to resist potential Soviet invasions. However, revelations in the 1990s uncovered that some of these groups were involved in domestic terrorism and political manipulation, aiming to discredit leftist movements. The exposure of Gladio sparked outrage and investigations, revealing a complex web of covert operations that blurred the lines between defense and subversion. Operation Paperclip, recruiting Nazi scientists. In the aftermath of World War II, the US initiated Operation Paperclip, a secret program to recruit German scientists, including former Nazis, to work on American scientific and military projects. Over 1,600 individuals were brought to the US, contributing to advancements in rocketry, medicine, and technology. While the program bolstered US capabilities during the Cold War, it also raised ethical dilemmas about granting asylum and employment to individuals with ties to Nazi atrocities. Project Bluebird, the birth of behavioral control. Before the infamous MK Ultra, there was Project Bluebird. Initiated in 1950, this CIA program aimed to explore methods of controlling human behavior through interrogation techniques, hypnosis, and drug-induced amnesia. The project's goal was to discover ways to make individuals perform acts against their will, including assassination, without conscious awareness. Experiments were conducted on both willing and unwitting subjects, often without informed consent. Techniques included the use of barbiturates, amphetamines, and electroshock therapy to break down and reprogram individuals. The ethical implications of such experiments are deeply troubling, raising questions about the lengths to which intelligence agencies will go in the name of national security. Project QK Hilltop, the dark side of CIA mind control. Project QK HILLTOP was a covert CIA program that focused on psychological warfare, inspired by Chinese brainwashing techniques observed during the Korean War. The project aimed to develop effective methods of interrogation and mind control, including the use of drugs, hypnosis, and other psychological techniques. Experiments were conducted on both willing and unwitting subjects, often without informed consent. Techniques included the use of barbiturates, amphetamines, and electroshock therapy to break down and reprogram individuals. The ethical implications of such experiments are deeply troubling, raising questions about the lengths to which intelligence agencies will go in the name of national security. Project MKCHICKWIT, tracking foreign drug research. In the shadowy corridors of Cold War intelligence, the CIA initiated Project MKCHICKWIT, a program designed to monitor and collect information on foreign drug developments, particularly those emerging from Europe and Asia. Unlike its more infamous counterpart, MKUltra, which focused on domestic experimentation, MKCHICKWIT aimed to identify new psychoactive substances abroad that could be weaponized or used for interrogation. Agents were tasked with infiltrating pharmaceutical conferences, establishing contacts with chemists, and acquiring samples of novel compounds. The intelligence gathered was then analyzed to assess potential applications in mind control or as non-lethal incapacitating agents. This global surveillance of drug research underscored the CIA's commitment to staying ahead in the biochemical arms race, blurring the lines between scientific inquiry and espionage. CIA conspiracies that were true. Project Palladium, simulating phantom aircraft. During the height of the Cold War, the CIA developed Project Palladium, a sophisticated electronic warfare program aimed at testing Soviet radar capabilities. By simulating phantom aircraft using radar-reflecting balloons and electronic countermeasures, the agency could provoke and analyze enemy air defense responses without risking actual aircraft. These deceptive operations provided critical insights into Soviet radar systems and response protocols, allowing the US to refine its stealth technology and electronic countermeasures. Project Palladium exemplifies the CIA's ingenuity in leveraging technology to gain strategic advantages without direct confrontation. Project Often, exploring the occult and supernatural. Venturing beyond conventional science, the CIA embarked on Project Often, an initiative that delved into the realms of the occult and supernatural. Collaborating with astrologers, psychics, and practitioners of various mystical arts, the agency sought to explore unconventional methods of intelligence gathering and psychological manipulation. Experiments included seances, astrology-based predictions, and the study of demonology aiming to assess their potential applications in espionage and psychological operations. The Gateway Experience, CIA's search for interdimensional access. In 2003, the CIA quietly declassified a 1983 document titled Analysis and Assessment of Gateway Process. It wasn't about spies, weapons, or war. It was about transcending space and time. The Gateway Experience, developed by the Monroe Institute, was a method of achieving altered states of consciousness through audio brainwave stimulation, especially hemisync tones. But why was the CIA involved? According to the now declassified analysis, the agency believed these altered states could allow operatives to project consciousness beyond the physical world, into other dimensions, time travel scenarios, and even communicate with non-human intelligences. The report referenced holographic universes, quantum fields, and the ability of trained minds to perceive hidden structures of reality, suggesting that consciousness itself might be a tool of espionage. This wasn't science fiction. It was serious enough for the CIA to invest resources and analysis into. The conclusion? Under the right mental and energetic conditions, the mind might access information across space, time, and dimension. Echelon, the CIA's global surveillance network. While the NSA often takes the spotlight in surveillance discussions, the CIA has long been tied to Echelon, a global signals intelligence network created during the Cold War. Initially a secret collaboration between the US, UK, Canada, Australia, and New Zealand, the Five Eyes, Echelon was designed to monitor Soviet communications. But over time, its scope dramatically expanded. The system intercepted emails, phone calls, satellite transmissions, and more, often without warrants. Everything from foreign diplomats to private citizens became targets in a digital netcast across the globe. Declassified reports and whistleblower testimony, including from NSA veteran William Binney and British analyst Catherine Gunn, revealed that Echelon wasn't just about foreign threats. It was used for economic espionage, political leverage, and mass domestic surveillance. Despite denials, evidence suggests the CIA has used Echelon data in covert operations, blackmail schemes, and diplomatic manipulation, far beyond its original mandate. From mind control experiments and psychic warfare to phantom aircraft and interdimensional consciousness, the CIA's declassified files reveal a shadow world that's far stranger and far more disturbing than fiction ever dared to imagine. These aren't just Cold War relics. They are warnings, glimpses into the lengths power will go to control, manipulate, and dominate, not only nations, but minds. And remember, if this is what they've declassified, what's still buried? If you found this deep dive into the CIA's creepiest secrets as fascinating as we did, make sure to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and hit that bell icon so you never miss what they don't want you to know. We're just getting started.